I found my husband's secret phone, and when I confronted him, he turned it around and blamed me. I never imagined that something like this would happen to me. My husband, Chris, and I had been together for 7 years. We met in college, fell in love quickly, and married just 2 years later. We had a beautiful home, a dog named Max, and a life that seemed picture perfect. I always thought that we were a solid couple, happy, strong, and supportive of each other. But recently, something had shifted. It was small at first, subtle things that didn't seem important at the time. Chris became more absorbed in his phone, always texting or scrolling while we were supposed to be spending time together. He'd keep his phone face down whenever it was around me, and if I ever walked into the room while he was on it, he'd quickly hide the screen. I shrugged it off at first. Maybe he was just busy with work or needed some personal space. But then, the changes began to feel too frequent, too deliberate. I couldn't ignore it any longer. One night, I was lying in bed while Chris was in the living room watching TV. His phone buzzed on the nightstand, and I glanced at it instinctively. I'd never checked his phone before, but something inside me told me to look this time. There was a message notification from an unfamiliar name, Amber. The message read, "Can't wait to see you tonight, babe. I've missed you." My heart skipped a beat. Babe? Who was this woman? Why was she calling my husband something so intimate? My mind raced. I tried to stay calm. Maybe it was a friend from work, though I had never heard of an Amber before. Maybe it was nothing. I wanted to believe that, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I spent the next few hours tossing and turning, unable to sleep. My mind kept replaying that message over and over. I knew I needed to understand what was going on. So, after a restless night, I decided I had to act. Chris had fallen asleep on the couch, leaving his phone on the coffee table beside him. I couldn't believe I was doing this, but my hand trembled as I picked it up. I unlocked the phone and began scrolling through his messages. My stomach dropped with every new text I read. There were dozens of messages between Chris and Amber. Some were harmless at first, small talk about work and casual check-ins. But as I went further down, the tone changed. They were flirting. He was calling her babe, telling her she was beautiful, sharing private jokes, and making plans to meet up the weekend I had gone out of town with my friends. They had exchanged photos, nothing explicit, but enough to make my heart ache. Amber had sent him a picture of herself at a cafe, and his reply was, "I can't wait to see you again. You're more beautiful every time I see you." I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I didn't know what to do with myself. The person I loved, the person I had trusted, was keeping secrets from me. Worse, he was emotionally invested in another woman. It was clear now this wasn't just a friendship. He was cheating. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I waited until Chris came to bed, feigning sleep, but I could feel the tension rising inside me. He snored lightly beside me, completely unaware of the storm brewing. But sleep didn't come. I had too many questions. I needed answers. Finally, around 8 a.m., I couldn't take it anymore. I jumped out of bed and went straight to the kitchen, where Chris was brewing his morning coffee. I didn't know how to start the conversation, but I couldn't just pretend everything was fine. "Chris, we need to talk," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He turned to face me, surprised by my sudden seriousness. "What's going on?" he asked, wiping his hands on a towel. "Who is Amber?" I asked flatly, holding up his phone so he could see the messages. His face immediately flushed, and he froze. For a moment, he didn't say anything. I could see him scrambling to come up with some excuse. He had no idea that I had read everything, that I knew about the photos, the plans, and the late-night conversations. "It's nothing," he finally muttered, lowering his gaze. "Just a work colleague. We've been texting about a project." "Really? A project?" I couldn't keep the disbelief from my voice. "You're telling me this is just work? Because it looks to me like you're calling her babe and making plans to see her when I'm not around." I could feel the anger rising, but I tried to stay composed. "Chris, this is more than just texting. You're emotionally involved with her. You've been lying to me." He turned away, his hands gripping the counter tightly. "I'm not emotionally involved with her. he said, his voice tight. "It's just a distraction. I've been feeling disconnected lately, okay? This wasn't about you. This was about me needing something. Something that I didn't know how to talk to you about." "That's your excuse?" I was starting to lose patience. "You couldn't talk to me, so you decided to talk to another woman? You couldn't come to me and tell me what was going on? And now you want me to just forgive this? This is cheating, Chris." He turned around, looking frustrated. "I never meant for it to get this far," he said, his voice growing defensive. "But you never listen to me. You're always so focused on what I'm doing, on where I'm going, on who I'm talking to. You've been suffocating me with your constant need to control everything. And now I have to deal with this, with you accusing me of cheating and not understanding what I'm going through. Control." I was stunned. "I'm accusing you of cheating because I found messages from another woman, messages that you're clearly hiding from me. I'm not controlling you, Chris. I'm just trying to understand why you've been acting so distant, why you've been so secretive. And now, instead of owning up to your actions, you're blaming me." He crossed his arms, shaking his head. "You never get it, do you? You always twist things around. Maybe if you weren't so paranoid about every little thing, we wouldn't be in this situation. Maybe if you just trusted me a little, this wouldn't have happened." I was in shock. He was flipping everything on me, making me feel like I was the one at fault for questioning his behavior. Couldn't believe my ears. "So now it's my fault that you've been texting another woman and keeping secrets?" Chris looked away, avoiding my eyes. "I don't know, okay? I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just lost. But this isn't about you. It's about me and how I've been feeling. You have no idea how hard it's been to talk to you about anything. It's like you don't listen to me anymore." The words hung in the air between us, thick with tension. I wanted to scream, to make him understand that this wasn't just about his feelings or his need for privacy. It was about trust. But no matter what I said, he wasn't hearing me. Instead, he had turned it all back on me. "I can't do this," I whispered, my voice breaking. "I can't keep doing this with you. If you can't be honest with me, if you can't even own up to what you've done, then I don't know what we have anymore." I walked away, feeling empty. I wasn't sure where we stood anymore. Was he truly lost? Or was he just trying to cover his tracks? He had turned the situation around so completely that I was questioning everything. Was it my fault for not trusting him enough? Or had I caught him in the act of betrayal, and now he was deflecting because he knew he was caught? That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if our marriage was even worth salvaging. Was there any way back from this? Or had I truly lost him?